Welcome back, True Seeker. This past Wednesday on the Gematria Effect, a woman called in and she asked if I could look into the death of her family member, Joe Tofflemire. She was suspicious about his death because of what she learned on my radio show. She had heard me say numerous times that a lot of ritualistic deaths have happened in history on September 27th, which is the Jesuit order's birthday. And throughout history, the Jesuits known as being killers. She called in about 6 months ago and asked the same thing, and I apologized that I didn't look into her brother's death. I meant to then. But she called again this week, January 10th, and asked. What's interesting is, since the first time she called to her latest call, we had a show fall on Wednesday, September 27th, 2017, and that's the day Hugh Hefner was ritualistically killed, which was in connection to the Vegas shooting that happened days later on the weekend of Yom Kippur. Anyhow, I'm sad to say for the woman who called in, it seems that the loss of her family member was anything but organic, and this was most definitely a ritual murder, and that's what we're going to cover now. Where I want to begin was with the fact that this man was the 44th overall pick of the 1989 draft, and that he died 22 years later, 2011. Think about it. Football is a game of 22 men on the field. He died 22 years after being drafted. That's the master builder number in numerology. Also, 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. Football's 11 on 11, 22 men on the field. Drafted in 89, dead in 11. You know, the way you'd write that year. With regards to the 44th pick, we know that the word kill equals 44. He also played his career in Seattle having Gematria 44. We'll talk more about that. But as always, measure from the date of birth to the date of death. A lot's always revealed within this. He died 82 days after his birthday. He played for the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle has Gematria of 82. Again, he was also the 44th pick connecting to Seattle. You could also say he died on his 83rd day of being 46 years old. And we'll talk about 46 in a moment. But notice, with regards to it being his 83rd day, he was a football player, football 83, murder 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. It's about killing. It's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. He died on the Jesuit order's birthday. Their name is the Society of Jesus, having Gematria of 83. The name Jesus Christ also has Gematria of 83. His birth numerology, July 7th, 1965, his date of birth, that was a date with numerology of 79. And the reason that matters is because murder also equals 79. It's also the 22nd prime number, 79, the 22nd prime, dead 22 years after being drafted in the NFL. Society of Jesus also has the connection to 79. You know, connecting 79 and 83, murder and Society of Jesus. The date he was born, July 7th, 1965. It was also a date with numerology of 35. He died at age 46. And notice, the word Catholic, we're talking about the Jesuits, the Masons within the Catholic Church. He died on the Jesuit order's birthday. The word Catholic has Gematria of 35 and 46. And think about JFK. He was the 35th president, the only Catholic president today. To date, he was killed at age 46. The word sacrifice also equals 46. Genesis 46 begins with the sacrifice. In the Hebrew language, the words murder and kill equal 46. See, a lot of deaths in connection to that number. This man dead at age 46. Born with 35 birth numerology, and I have a feeling, I don't know this for certain, but I have a feeling he was Catholic himself. A lot of Catholics in this nation. A lot of Catholic men playing in collegiate and professional sports, and not coincidentally. The Catholics and Jesuits, this Masonic alliance largely controls the world of rigged sports. If you've never seen me doing all the videos with Russell Wilson and how he gets major tributes with the Jesuits, check it out. You know, this stuff still goes on. It goes on in the rigged games. It goes on in the ritual murders. The name Tofflemire also has gematria of 55, corresponding with the gematria of sacrifice. Very special number. Satan equals 55, so does God, so does numerology, so does Fibonacci. The 10th Fibonacci number is 55, comes just before 89. Tofflemire drafted in 89. So even more incriminating is the fact that he died on a date that had numerology of 67. If you follow my work, number we talk about all the time, 46, 38, 67, 44. These numbers come up again and again. Blood sacrifice equals 67. So does Joe Tofflemire, the name he went by. Joe Tofflemire dead on a date with 67 numerology. And hold on, I want to see something real quick. The Seahawks actually might have been established. Let me see something. It might have been established in 76, or was it 67? They were established in this year, the Seahawks, 74. They joined the NFL in the 76 season. See? Established 74, joined in 76. The reflection is 67. Derek noticed that the word sacrifice using the square cipher, using square numbers, equals 927. You know, a lot like 927, and we're always talking about ritual sacrifice on September 27th. Notice Joe Tofflemire wore number 56, Society of Jesus and Reductions 56, dead on the Society of Jesus' birthday. If you've never seen my work on the 33-day Pope, his last day alive was the Jesuit order's birthday, murdered on a date with numerology of 44. The 33-day Pope, look that up. Another Jesuit connection. Society of Jesus using the alphabetic order sums to 191, which is the 43rd prime number. He was a Seattle Seahawk. Seattle Seahawks, the team name equals 43. They won their only Super Bowl with 43 points. Again, everything's scripted by this code. Jesus Christ also has gematria of 43, corresponding with Society of Jesus, 191, the 43rd prime. His date of death, we just talked about the 67 numerology. It was also a date with 47 numerology. Seattle's on the 47th parallel. The rotating restaurant on the Space Needle does a full rotation every 47 minutes. The word time equals 47. The tropics that measure the solstices of this earth, separated by 47 degrees. Notice Vatican equals 47. Pope Francis also equals 47. Special number, government 47, authority 47, mafia 47. Joe Tofflemire was born on July 7th, the day leaving 177 days left in the year. New World Order equals 177, so does the Jesuit order. 17 times 7 equals 119. Vatican 119, Francis 119, All-Seeing Eye 119. Notice that's just a reshuffling of 191. Same digits, reshuffled. Joe Tofflemire also played his college ball at Arizona. Arizona has gematria of 84. He was the 44th pick out of Arizona. If you add the numbers that divide into 44 together, they sum to 84. The divisors of 44 equal 84. Jesuit 84, the Jesuit Order 84, the Catholic Church 84, Masonry 84. Pope Francis, the first publicly Jesuit pope, born on a date with 84 numerology. Here he is doing his Masonic hidden hand. The full name of this man who died, gematria of 115, like Masonic, like Freemasons, like killing. 137, the 33rd prime, numbers of sacrifice, numbers of Kabbalah. 380, like 38, corresponding with death, murder, and killing. Other numbers stand out in his name, absolutely. But the ones that point to the ritualistic sacrifice and the Jesuits and him dying on the Jesuit order's birthday, you know, this is what murder by numbers is. These are the repetitive patterns. This is why this woman who heard me talk about this called in about her own brother. And, you know, sadly, it's the same repetitive pattern we're always talking about. That's how you know that this is what's really going on, by how repetitive these patterns are. You know, by knowing the history of the Jesuits, who are known to be assassins in history. And, you know, I suspect the day he went into the NFL, like all these young men do, they make a pledge, you know. They essentially become part of this alliance, and this is the cost of it. That's why so many people in these leagues die young. You know? So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Oh, before we go, 3 people this week who listened to my radio show made videos based off it. Zenith of the Alpha had this really strange synchronicity. He's talking about how it even happens at a special spot in the show. I'll link these videos down below to watch. Zenith of the Alpha, great channel to subscribe to. Dan Barrett, I had him on my show. It was a great show when he came on. Dan Barrett's been doing this the longest out of all the people who followed me on YouTube. He had a very strange synchronicity with the show, and he's talking about this exact same phone call by this woman who called in here. And then Derek did a decode on the death of Joe Tofflemire and Grant Feasel. And I'll just show you this real quick. This was a good catch by Derek, and Mary mentioned this when she called into the show the other night. Right after the death of her brother, another center for the Seahawks died, and look at what number he wore. He wore the number 54, and just right away I already see it just from looking at that. 54, huge number with the Jesuit order. Watch what happens in our base ciphers when you punch in Jesuit order. 54, Dealey Plaza. 54, JFK killed in Dealey Plaza. JFK visited the Vatican. His thing was a major Jesuit ritual. From 63 to 2017 was 54 years. They just released all these files. There's a whole lot more to this. You heard of the Kennedy curse, 54, Cortez Kennedy for the Seahawks, by the way, murdered by the code earlier this year, May 23rd, something I covered. But just right away, I'm seeing it. Grant Feasel, 54. He died July 15th, 2012, so less than a year after the death of Mr. Tofflemire. And notice the date he died, July 15th, 2012. 7 plus 15 is 22. Talked about 22. Plus 12 more is 34. The word murder, 34. Plus 20 more, 54. Dead on a date with 54 numerology. You see that? Number 54, dead on a date with 54 numerology. In light of what we just talked about with the Jesuits. Here, we can check out his name real quick too. Grant Feasel. So it's 45, but if you use the S exception, it's 54. Look at that. Grant Feasel, number 54, dead on a date with 54 numerology. This is how fast doing murder by numbers research is when you already know what to look for. People don't understand how I can churn out 15 blog posts a day, make videos, write a book. This work doesn't take me long to do. Everything is this fast. And I've been doing this for over 4 years straight now, so I have a lot of experience. But once you know what to look for, it only takes a moment to decode the date, see what jersey number he is, copy and paste his name into the Gematrinator, which has made things so easy. I'm just seeing more here. Feasel equals 21 and 30 like Jesuit. Grant has gematria of 75 like New World Order. Not that matters, but order also 75, Not everybody named Grant's in the New World Order. I'm just showing the significance of that number. New World Order 75 and Order 75. Order out of chaos 75. You see that? That's the motto, order out of chaos. But, and I'm sure if we just start looking more, let's just do it in real time. It'll only take a second more. Where's his, I need to find his birthday. June 28th. So he died right after his birthday. Is that 17 days later? Let's make sure that's 17 days later. Oh, I'll use Derek's calculator. I never use this for dates. Yeah, so he died 17 days after, right? And another special number there. The word kill has gematria 17. So does Mason, the Jesuits, the Masons within the Catholic Church. That's why modern Freemasonry began in the year 1717. So he was draft class of 83, football and murder. He was the 161st pick. When I was just looking at the death of Tofflemire, the number 161 came up, but I didn't jot it down. Now I wish I did. There's some overlap with that. I know if I go back and look at Tofflemire, it's there. Let me see if I accidentally recorded it. The name Tofflemire has gematria of 161. And what that's like is the Fibonacci sequence. The number phi comes from the Fibonacci sequence. We were talking about how 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number, 55 is the 10th. Phi equals 1.61. That's why David West on the Golden State Warriors got the tattoo of phi on his shoulder as he joined the Warriors last year. And then they went 16-1 in the playoffs. You know. Dead at 52, big Kabbalah number. Death also has gematria of 52. Here, let's check out his full name. You know, you can always go further. Grant Earl Feasel, 63. Jesuit order, with the S exception, is 63 as well. You know, we talked about how it was 54. Grant Earl Feasel, 144. Same as Jesuit order. You see that? You see that, Truth Seeker? This is how we know who's doing the killing. And it's the same people doing the rigging. Everything keeps pointing in the same direction. We've been documenting this thousands of times over since 2013. So we'll leave it there. I'll link these posts down below. I'll create a new post for Grant Feasel. That'll take a few minutes. If you don't follow my blog, you're missing out. Lots of important information here. Every time my YouTube channel gets taken down, I put the link at the top of the YouTube page, or the blog page for the new YouTube link. You guys got to be watching. My videos are getting censored. All right, until next time, True Seekers.